All right, good. Welcome everyone to this noon learning session. Today's topic is going to be on Math Whiteboard. I'm so glad that you could join us. If you're joining live today, thank you. If you're watching this on the recording, thank you as well. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to you, whatever time that it is. Today's session, I've sketched out for 30 minutes. That's what my goal time always are for these noon learning sessions. This might be a little bit shorter today. This is not a super in-depth tool, but what it does is very highly specialized and really interesting to view. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera and get started with today's demonstration. If you are joining live, make sure that you can enter your questions or comments to the chat window. I have that visible as well, and I promise there will be time afterwards for questions. If you're watching the recording, please feel free to reach out to me through my website and at trishalewis.com, and I can get back to you with any questions or comments that you might have. Okay, with that, let's get started. All right, so we're going to talk about Math Whiteboard today. And like I said, this is a highly specialized whiteboard. So over the past couple weeks, I've actually showcased a few different whiteboards during my noon learning session. I started out with Google Jamboard 2 weeks ago. Last week, we looked at something called Whiteboard Chat, a massive tool that you can use in your classroom, either in class or remotely. So much to that one. I probably could spend about 8 hours on that one and still not be able to cover everything. And now we're going to talk about Math Whiteboard. And now Math Whiteboard is actually a specialized whiteboard because of what it can do. Now you might be thinking, ooh, what can it do? And can students access this? Yes, they can. Now they can access any other kind of website out there that can help them solve things and be able to visualize things. But we have to think about what is best for the student. Maybe something that's going to help them and be able to help you. You got to be able to take a look at it and see what it does. It's absolutely free. There is no login for this. You just use it and go from there. So how does it work? When you first get to the web page, you are presented with two buttons. You can start a new math whiteboard by clicking the new whiteboard button. And after you get one going, you can actually share your whiteboards out with your students for another collaborator. And remember, this is going to be a collaborative tool. So as soon as you share out that link with someone, they could actually write on your board, edit, change, all those type of things. So if you're not into that, you don't have to be. You do not have to share out the link with your students. You can show it visibly on your monitor, projector, interactive board in your classroom, or you could show it through something like this. I'm doing this in Google Meet, sharing my screen, and this is being recorded, so you could record it as well in your Meet, or use something like Loom, or whatever your favorite recording tool is for screencasting. So it's a tool that you could use to make tutorials or to help out a student with something as well. All right, so let's take a look at the interface of this. Now there's not a whole lot to this interface, which is kind of okay because then it has a quick learning curve. The harder learning actually comes in how you use the math write tool, which is number one, to input the math for the online board to help you with. And I'm going to demonstrate that. So you can either write the math in using your mouse, an input pen, or touchscreen. I will go into input devices when we get done today, talking about a couple of ways to do different devices. But by the way, this is device agnostic, so it doesn't need anything special to work. You can have this on a desktop, laptop, Chromebook, iPad, whatever. As long as it can get to a web page, you can use Math Whiteboard with this, so you don't have to have anything special with it. So that's a good thing. And like I said, you can use Math Write or Math Type. Then you also just have drawing and text box tools. So if you want to just put regular ink that's not going to have the special properties to it, and I'll get into that when I'm demonstrating. You can put that on there as well. An eraser does exactly what it does. You can insert things. So like if you were doing this, you could bring in a PDF maybe of some problems or something and be able to solve right there so that you had the text or the worksheet available on your screen to be able to do that as well. You can clear the entire board in one fell swoop by hitting that clear. Undo and redo, just like in any other website, undo and redo. If you go way over to number 10, there's a more menu, and this talks about the animation, the highlight equivalent, and confirm draw pen scribble. The animation, I'm going to do a little demonstration today. I hope it turns out all right. Highlight equivalents. Now, I actually talked with one of the developers on this, and he led me through a really cool demonstration of it. But me and my limited math knowledge, or what I can remember of it, I didn't remember everything, and the highlight equivalents I can't speak to today. I would have to learn a little bit more about it. But the draw pen scribble, I will definitely be demonstrating. And the help right there available to you always is a tutorial with a practice area. So if you want to be able to do some of these things and have the directions right on the screen at the same time, great. Maybe this is a way that you can introduce this to your students to use as well, so that they can get to learn how to use Math Whiteboard as well as doing math behind it. Okay, so that's it for the interface. So let's go ahead and do a live demonstration of it. I'm going to go ahead and launch Math Whiteboard. And again, here we are on the page that it said create that new whiteboard. You can also integrate it on your website if you want to. I haven't done that yet, so I will have to give that a try. So let's go ahead and create or join a whiteboard. So we're going to create one. Okay, so their terminology here talks about enter a whiteboard ID. I actually reached out to them on Twitter because I'm like, there is no field there. They're going to be updating the site to reflect that that is really not there, or that's going to be a feature coming. But I will show you about how to share out that whiteboard as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do a new whiteboard. And there is a pop-up that comes up across it, so you can be able to learn a little bit more about it. But that is what I'm here today for, so that I can demonstrate it to you. So here we are in the interface. If I wanted to share this whiteboard out with you, I could, and you could actually join me live. I could copy the link, and then I could just paste it in the chat. I'm not going to do it right now because I want to do a little demonstrating, but then you can join in. I'm going to go ahead and do some live demoing here with what we got. So I'm in Math Right. So that's the tool that I have right here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just show how it can actually solve for you. So if I write 1 plus 2 and then draw an arrow to the right, okay, it is supposed to solve. Let me try that again. 1 plus 2. I did this yesterday when I was demonstrating. It actually worked. Let me do it one more time here. I will highlight the scribble to erase. One of the nice things about this is that when you are erasing, you used to have to always grab an eraser and go. Actually, in Math Whiteboard, if you just scribble something out, it erases it completely. Let me try this one more time. 1 plus 2. Let me put this on here. We don't need that. Let's try one more time. Okay, this is really bizarre. I swear to you that it actually solved. Let me try to see if I can bring up one Math Whiteboard that I already had started. And this is a way that you can keep track of them. You can just copy that link and then just paste it into a document somewhere and keep track of the ones that you've actually opened. Whoops. Ooh. Oh, Wow, this is exciting. Maybe we're having some issues today with Math Whiteboard. That is so the problem with text. So let me try a different one. Let me try another problem. So let's go 4 minus 2. And I'm only getting that. Let's go 4 minus 2 equals. Now we get the question mark, so that it rewrites it there. That's one of the cool things about this, that it rewrites the tool here for you, but it's supposed to be able to solve. So I'm not going to be able to demonstrate that for you. We might go into the tutorial for that. It is supposed to be able to do other things. So if I write A equals 3 and B equals 4, and then I'm going to do A plus B with an arrow, that is supposed to solve that. Golly, I don't know what to tell you. I feel really bad about leading this today and something is not working right. I swear to you, I practiced this yesterday afternoon. Well, let me try one of my big reveals here, okay? And then we might open up, you know what, let's open up the tutorial because we can. All right, so we'll go ahead and open up the tutorial here. And this is what I said here. If you went into the help, it opens up a tutorial and you can see the things along the side and then be able to practice them right here. So let's go ahead and take that. So it says, you know, you can draw things out and it recognizes them. So it's taking your handwriting and putting it into that mathematical symbol. So if I did 2y, it's going to show that in there. If I did 2 squared, well, if I write it better, it'll put that in there. You can put that in there. So you can be able to write and it recognizes. Okay? I really love that scribble to erase because then you don't have to drag something else on there. So you could write your symbols in. So not only can you do letters, but you can also write symbols. So if we have equals, of course, as a symbol. We have minus, we have plus as our symbols. Okay, so those are in there. We can actually draw our sigma symbol. Okay, so that's in there. We talked about the scribble erase. So let's go ahead and write a mathematical expression. So if we have x, f2, okay, and let me write that better. In fact, I can just do part of it erase, which is really nice, so that I didn't have to erase the whole thing. I could just actually scribble out what I want. If I'm following this demonstration out here, I can actually scribble out this middle part, and I get x2. If I put that back in there, I get x plus 2. So that's really cool. So this is saying when it's doing solving that we should be able to do this. So let's try this one more time. And if we have x equals 3, that is very weird. I'm not sure why this is doing. Let's try just solving with those 2 lines there and see if that works. I'm not understanding what's going on here. It is supposed to solve this out, and I don't get quite what's going on with that. That is so weird. So weird. Let's try another one. So if we have 2x equals 7, if we want to solve for x, we can put x and then an arrow, and it's just drawing an arrow. Boy, I don't know what to tell you people here. This is really weird. I'm not sure it's gonna be able to solve the way that we want it to do today. I'm gonna keep going with my other demonstration here. Part of it, I guarantee to you that this is a really neat tool, but for some reason it is not quite working the way that I want it to today. If we talk about the math type in here, what if we do 2 plus 3? We can just have our typing in there. 2 minus 1 equals, and the question mark. What if we have 10 minus 2, let's go 10 minus x equals 8. And if I do my math writing in here, back to math write, And if I have x equals 2, yeah, that is supposed to solve for that. I am very upset with this today. It is not doing what I wanted to do. I know I keep apologizing for it, but it is not operating in the way that I want it to. I very much apologize to you, Kendra and Cassie, for joining live here today, that it is not doing what I want it to do. Let's try one more thing here. When we are doing equations, let's see if it actually shows this out. If I write the equation that y equals mx plus b, okay, it recognizes my writing and it puts out that equation right there. Now, the cool thing about Math Whiteboard is that if you actually take your pen or your mouse and you do a very sweeping line over the equal sign, it is supposed to graph that. Well, it doesn't know what these tools are. So what the numbers are, so it can't graph anything. If I write m equals 1 and b equals 1, oops, I only want that in a separate cell. That is supposed to solve that out there and put that in there. What if I take this and I change that and I actually put my variables in there? So if I say 1x plus 1, and let's try that again, make sure we write it just a little bit cleaner. So y equals 1x plus 1. If I take that sweeping line and draw from above the equals through the equals and out, let me do it one more time. It's not graphing either. Yeah, something is broken with this. I am not sure what to tell you about this because that is supposed to graph those lines here, and it is not doing what I want them to do. So with that, I think I'm going to actually close out this today, and the people that didn't join live, I'm going to write a note, and I'm not probably going to include this recording, and I'm going to reach out to the people with Math Whiteboard and see what's going on. Thanks, Cassie and Kendra, for your nice notes in the chat. Boy, you know, tech sometimes you just want to kick it right in, you know what. I know how that goes, and I'm dealing with tech 24 hours a day, it feels like here. Just for grins, let me try launching a new browser and see if that makes a difference. And there's something nice and clean that doesn't have any memory in it. I'm using a guest window to do that. And let's go ahead and create a whiteboard. And we're going to do a new whiteboard. All right, well, let's give this a try. All right, so if we have 1 plus 2 with an arrow, nope. Oh, there we go. That helped a little bit. That actually solved there. Let me do that one more time. I'm going to clear that all out there. I don't know, maybe my arrows are not right. So what I did is I wrote 3x plus 3, and I did an arrow. Then down, oh, now we're getting a little bit of solving going down. Down below it, if I wrote x equals 10, it actually solves for x up here. So that is really good. Must have been a little bit of a hiccup there in the website. We can actually change out that as well if we want our x to equal 0. And it automatically changes that answer right there. Now remember, I was in the math right. If I wanted to be able just to write something without it solving, we can actually bring this in. Now when I hit the draw there, there's a little bit of a drop down. So you can choose what color you want your pen to be. And I'm just going to go ahead and make mine a pink pen. And then you can choose the level of thickness of your pen as well. I'm going to choose a very thin pen here. And now I can just write on the board. And that'll just stay on there just as writing versus rather being part of the math solve. Let's see if we can do a few more things here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and clear that whole board out at the same time. Go back to my math right. And if I have 1 plus 2, ooh, now we're getting some solving. Ooh, I'm glad I stuck with it and went into this guest window here. Maybe there was something in my cookies and my cache that prevented that from working. So I'll have to make sure that I clean that out. What if we have 4 minus 2? Oh, it's not solving there. Okay, bizarre. How about if we have 6 times 5? We want to make sure that we give some space here. Ooh, but we don't want to make sure, and now this is solving here. Maybe they're just having problems on their servers. That's all I can say that maybe is what's going on. Now this says 6x equals 5. Okay, so it didn't do times. So I don't know what symbol. If I go 6 times 5, let's try that. Nope. Well, still did it because 6 times 5, that does equal 30, but it put 30x in there. I'm going to clear the board. Let's try doing our graph and see if that happens. I'm going to go equal y equals mx plus b. All right, so now I'm going to take that curved line, go through the equal sign, and draw out. And we don't want it to look like that. Oh, there we go. There's our graph of what's going on. Y equals mx plus b. Now, if I put in numbers for those variables, I hope I'm using the right terminology. My math is not as good as it used to be. If I say m equals 1, it changed. Interesting about that. What if we say b equals 1? Excellent. Now we can take and we can change these variables here. So let's say m equals 2. And look how that changed on our graph over there. All right, we can change this out. Now it is great to be able to scribble out like this and be able to change our numbers. But there's even a better way that we could do that. So I'm going to scribble this one out one more time. And remember, in order to make our graph, we did that swooping line out to make our graph. If I go through this equal sign with a straight line down, okay, that's not supposed to do that. Let me try this. You're supposed to get a slider in here, so I'm sorry that this is not working right here. Well, we can keep changing that. That is cool. Okay, well, let me do the big reveal now since we're almost to the end. Let me clear everything out. Let's see if this works. All right, when I saw this, I thought it was pretty fantastic because this can actually do animation as well. So that is one thing that I think is really neat about this. So I'm going to draw my version of 2 cars here. So I've got a circle car with some funky wheels. Well, we don't want it to be 80. And I need to go back to regular draw to do that. So let's have a pink car with wheels. And let's have a red triangle car with some wheels. And let's put down our highway here. Big, bold highway, green highway. And let's make this, and we're going to change that later. I am going to go ahead back into math right here. And I am going to go into this and make that number underneath. I'm going to call this A, and I'm going to call this B. All right, so consider the following problem. Car A is moving with constant velocity, and car B is moving with constant acceleration. At what time t will car B catch up to car A? So let's see if we can see if this happens. If I say A sub x equals 80t and B sub x equals 10t squared, looking good. And if our t equals 2, and I'm going to draw a straight line down here to get that. Now, what will happen here is if I hit this play button and it did all right, I have all my formulas here. We can actually animate this and watch to see if it's going here. Now, B did not want to move. Let me try this one more time. We're getting A to move. Must be I didn't get my total wheel there to get that out. Because it was moving at 80 miles an hour, because remember, car A was moving with constant velocity and car B was moving with constant acceleration. I'm going to tell you that in the help, you can see that. But if you go to example whiteboards at the top, let's see if I can bring that one out for you. This is the one that they demonstrated. Now here it's all done for us. Let's see if we can see what the animation is right. So we're doing this physics simulation, same things that I drew. I'm going to make sure I get my writing out of there. And we have everything here, including our graph. I'm sorry, I keep drawing instead of using my mouse. And if I hit the play button, yeah, car B's not accelerating here too. So I think there's some issue with the website, but it's there. Let me recap this because we're almost out of time, and I just want to make sure that I recap what we're going on here. We did the live demonstration. Input tools for this, a touchscreen device works the best, but you can also augment your non-touch device with a graphics tablet. And in fact, that's what I am using today. I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera back on so that you can see this. I actually have this input pen right here, and I have a tablet on my desk. This is the one that is shown over here on the left-hand side of your screen, this QAnon tablet. $24. All you have to do is install. Works on Mac or PC. And what I like about this one is it just takes one AAA battery for it to run, and there's actually a clicker on the top and the bottom, on the top of it. So when I want to use it, I turn it on like I would use a regular ink pen, and when I'm done, I just click it off, and now it's off. So I don't have to worry about recharging it. So that's why I kind of like this one. If you want a little bit of an upgrade, you can get one by Wacom, another type of a drawing tablet, a little bit more pressure sensitive with the points on it, just a little bit more. This one actually does work with Chromebooks, but you have to make sure you have the right Chromebook. It's not every Chromebook that it works with. The newer ones, the ones that have probably the faster processor inside, it does work with that. So know that even if you don't have a touch device and you want to be able to use this, you can do that as long with every other whiteboard tool that I've demonstrated over the weeks. Now for the wrap up today, hey, thank you to the people that were sticking live with me here today. People that are watching this video, thank you for watching all the way through. I think we just kind of had a little bit of a hiccup today on our math whiteboard. I hope that you go ahead and give it a try. Look for your follow-up email with that. With this, I'm going to go ahead and close out the recording, but I'm going to stay on the Google Meet. If anybody has any further questions, they can ask me, they can unmute and ask, or go ahead and type in the chat. But thanks for watching the recording.